Hey everyone! Welcome to the Kate Gourmet. My name is Jeremy and today we'll be making Shogayaki. Let's get started. So Shogayaki is often called pork ginger in English. So the essential ingredients of course are pork and some ginger. And then we'll do a little stir fry of some onion, bean sprouts, and some mushrooms that are left over from another recipe that I made earlier today. We'll use shiso as a topping later. Shiso was something I didn't really like until I had it with pork. The first step to making shogayaki is to marinate the pork. Place your pork in a bowl. In this case, it looks like we're using thinly sliced pork chops. If you can't get it this thinly sliced, it's fine. You can use a thicker cut of pork chop. To marinate the pork, we'll just grate a little ginger. And to that, we will add soy sauce. I have a lot of pork here, so I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons, but if you have less than that, reduce the amount that you'll use. Add an equal amount of sake, cooking rice wine, and half that amount of mirin, a sweet cooking rice wine. And to this, I'll just add a little bit, maybe a teaspoon and a half of sesame oil. Let's give it a mix. Make sure all your pork is marinated. Okay, our pork is marinated. We'll set it aside while we prep the other vegetables. So the first vegetable that we'll prepare is actually cabbage. We're gonna shred this and soak it in some water. I'm gonna shred this with a slicer, but you could just cut it thinly with a knife or whatever you have available. If you are using a slicer, be very careful. We shredded the cabbage, and to make sure it's nice and crispy when we serve it, I'm going to soak this in some cold water. And right before serving, I'll drain it. That way it's nice and crispy. Cabbage soaked, I'll set that aside. So let's prepare the other vegetables that we'll stir fry. So the mushrooms, the shimeji mushrooms, we'll just cut off the bottom and then break apart. The mushrooms are optional, so this is actually not a very typical addition to shogayaki, but I like to do it in my version. And then we'll use half of an onion cut into wedges. Cut off the ends and slice from pole to pole in some wedges. And then the bean sprouts, we don't have to do anything to. Okay, so we are ready to make shogayaki. First, let's heat the frying pan. So for shogayaki, we'll again use a neutral oil. So add a little vegetable oil. Let that heat up. So the order that we'll do this is first we'll brown the meat, and once that's brown, we'll remove it from the pan and then stir fry the vegetables and the juices that are left. Okay, nice sizzle, that's a good sign. We want to get a little bit of color on each side of the pork. That ginger smells amazing. So the sugar in the mirin, because mirin's a sweet rice wine, should help it caramelize up pretty nicely. So we don't want to overcrowd, so we'll do about 4 at a time. These pieces of pork are pretty thin, so this will go pretty quickly. All right, that's some nice color on that one. Okay, let's add the onions. And mushrooms. Okay, let's add some bean sprouts. Okay, so vegetables are coming along quite nicely. Bean sprouts can be a little bit bland, so you can add a little salt and pepper to help them along. Okay, so our vegetables are almost there. Let's get ready to prepare the plate. So for the shiso topping, we'll do a chiffonade. So to do a chiffonade, you'll first need to stack your shiso like this and then roll them together. Okay, and then starting at one end, slice very finely till you get to the stem. All right, and that is a chiffonade of shiso. I don't think this is very traditional, but this is how I use shiso for a topping like this. Okay, so let's plate. Drain my cabbage. Our cabbage drained. Get your plate. First things first, we'll take a little cabbage and make a little pile on our plate. Vegetable stir fry. There's our shogayaki, and we'll top that with a little bit of our shiso chiffonade. And there we have it, shogayaki. Okay, let's give shogayaki a try. So I never liked shiso until I had it with pork, because it is quite an intense flavor. The first time I had it was on mochi, a dessert, and I was like, what is this flavor? But then one of my former coworkers told me I should make it with shogayaki, and then I really liked it. So that's why I decided to make shogayaki with shiso. All right, let's give the pork a try. The pork is very good, lots of flavor, lots of ginger flavor. Shiso goes very nicely. I'll try it with some vegetables. Vegetables have a nice crunch to them. It's usually served with a little mayo. You can dip the cabbage in. There it is, shogayaki. Give it a try. It's a great little pork recipe. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever tried shiso. I really recommend giving it a try with pork. It matches up quite nicely. If you've made any of the dishes that I've introduced on this channel, please feel free to tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see what you've come up with. Please give this video a like and subscribe for more Japanese home cooking recipes. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.